Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check out today's video. And guys, I've got a good one for y'all today. We're going to be talking about November bass fishing, and no, this is not another one of those, the 5 best lures for the month of November. We're all sick of that title. You'll be seeing it like crazy over the next couple days with all the YouTube channels out there. I'm going to cover, guys, the baits these are the baits that I catch a bunch of fish in the month of November that nobody uses. It's like when you see these that I'm talking about, there may have been one that you've used before, but the other ones I'm talking about, you probably never considered them. And I'm going to go over the conditions that they work in the month of November and how I catch a bunch of fish on them. So I think it's going to add up to some good action for you guys over the next month here. Also, guys, quick reminder, I don't know if you saw me talking about it, but we got a new color of jig in my Blaukat Throwback jig. This is one of my favorite colors I've been using since the early 90s. This is a brown, blue, and orange combination. This is my favorite fall time color, November and December. This thing works great in the fall time of the year. Anytime you got water visibility of 2 to 5 foot, this thing's gonna be awesome. Either put like a green pumpkin trailer or like a blue trailer with it. And guys, you can get them at, this particular color is not on the Tackle Warehouse website, but you can get them at the Cumberland Pro Lures website. I'll put that link in the description. And if you guys want to get some of my other jigs and my jigs in other colors, you can get them at that Tackle Warehouse link in the description. But brown, blue, and orange, guys, this will get you some good fish in the fall time of the year. Okay, let's go over these baits here. Now, these are my 5 favorite. Like I said, you probably haven't used them the way that I'm going to be talking about. We're going to go over it today. Now, the first one, if you want to get this bait, you're going to have to go on eBay because I don't know where you can get them anymore. But this is the Rebel Deep We Are here in this particular color pattern, the old crawdad pattern. They might have them. I think Tackle Warehouse has got the We R's. I'm not sure about the Deep We R's, but this is the Rebel Deep We Are. This bait right here is probably 45 years old. And I don't know what it is about it, but this cheaply made Rebel Deep We Are catches the fire out of them in the month of November. In the crawdad pattern like this, just get on eBay and see if you can find one that looks like this. I don't know what it is about it, guys, but I can crank rocky banks in the month of November. And as long as that water temperature stays above the low 50s, like it's between low 50s to low 60s, this has been a top producer in the month of November for me for decades. I just love this bait this time of year. Okay, the next one, this is a technique that I developed at Stockton Lake about 10 years ago. And there's actually 2 different baits I'm going to talk about here, but one of my favorite ways to catch bass in the month of November is ripping a spinnerbait. This is actually one of the baits we'll be talking about here. Well, let me talk about this and I'll tell you how this transpired. One of my favorite techniques, if there's one bait that you probably used in November before, it's a spinnerbait, but it's not one like this. This is that Megabass SV3 spinnerbait. This is the ripping spinnerbait. Fish head design, small willow leaves, nano-coated hook, runs straight as a string. Again, guys, I'll link all these baits in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to try them after the video. But this is a common one, guys. A lot of people burn a spinnerbait in November. Excellent technique. I do want to share that. But what I really want to talk about is how I developed this technique that is associated with this. Now, I was up at Stockton Lake about 10 years ago, and I'd fished like 3 days in a row up there. And the first day I went up there, it was perfect conditions for spinnerbait. It was cloudy, windy, misty type rain, and I caught a bunch of fish on a spinnerbait, ripping a little spinnerbait, like on main lake points and rocky banks. Typical fall time pattern. The next day of the tournament, not tournament, but the next day I was up there, cold front rolled through. And we lost our wind. It got bluebird sky out. It was bright. And I tried the spinnerbait and I couldn't get any bites on it, which is typical. A lot of times they do not want a spinnerbait after cold front rolls through. But there were so many fish up in that area I was fishing the day before. I just said, there's no way that all those fish just swam out of here. So I tried to come up with something more subtle. So what I did is I took this Zoom Z-Swim bait, or like a Kitech, it's a rib swim bait like this. You know, the 3.5, 4-inch model here, 1/8 ounce Megabass Oakashire jig head on it. And I started burning this thing. Normally people don't burn a swim bait, but what I did is I threw it up on the bank there, kept my rod tip high, and I started fishing it real fast, just under the surface, like that far under the surface. And guys, they were hammering this thing, this little Z-Swim, rib swim bait, burning it. Probably never tried that before, but guys, they've never seen that before. And it was something that it was more subtle, it was more subdued after the front came through. So definitely try that, guys. If you've got a clear water situation in the month of November, you've been catching a few fish on a spinnerbait or maybe not, and you've got water visibility of like 2.5 feet or more, you got some, you know, rocky banks or points to fish, just try taking this swim bait like this and burning it just under the surface. You can't, you have to reel it slow enough to where the bait doesn't roll on its side, but with this Okashira head, like the fish head, it stays pretty straight with it. So reel it as fast as you can without it going off to the side, and you can reel it at a pretty good pace as long as you keep your rod tip high. And 15-pound test Seaguar Visix line, they'll like to pull it out of your hand. Okay, the next one, guys, this is a bait. I talked about this a couple weeks back on another channel, but this is something that's a real sleeper in the month of November, and that is a little 1/4 ounce rattle trap. Not a 1/2 ounce, not a 3/4, the little 1/4 ounce rattle trap in the gold color like this. The gold is the color that they really like. This is another deal that works really good in the month of November if you have the right conditions. If you've got some flat points or flatter type rocky banks, it doesn't work on steep banks very good, or even maybe some shallow grass. I've caught them on shallow grass flats too. But my favorite is like a flat rocky point that slow tapers off like that. And you got water temperatures in the 50s, and you got water visibility sort of in that 1.5 to 3 foot range, a little bit of stain to it, and you got some wind blowing in on those flat banks and points. Take this little 1/4 ounce rattle trap and just cover water on those flat banks and points. Guys, they will hammer this thing, especially on tough fishing days. Like after a cold front rolls through, heavy fishing pressure, bright sun, that type of deal. There's something about the reaction strike this little 1/4 ounce rattle trap has that really works good in November there. And finally, guys, now the last 4 or 5 years, I've had awesome success in November on it. And that's the big Megabass Kanata Jerkbait. This is 7 inches long, biggest jerkbait that Megabass makes. Guys, I can promise you, if you've got a lake, especially a lake that's got some mixed species, like a mixture of spotted bass and largemouth and smallmouth, and you've got water visibility of over 3 feet, you got 3 to 5 foot of water clarity, and you got some bluff banks, steep rocky, or channel banks, steep rocky banks, specifically bluffs work better. Take this Kanata and parallel those bluffs in about 5 to 15 feet of water and fish it, you know, with a fairly fast stop and go retrieve. You're not stopping it very long. Go boom, 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 boom. It's not like you're letting it sit there. You're moving it pretty radically through the water. Put it on 15-pound test Seaguar Visix, some type of 6 foot 11 inch rod so you can get a good snap on it, and parallel those steep banks with this big Megabass Kanata, especially if you got some wind. The wind is going to be a big factor with this. You're not going to catch much on it unless the wind's blown a little bit, but I've caught some great bags of fish on it during the month of November. So anyway, guys, there's 5 baits out there that you probably never fished before except for the spinnerbait. Give them a try. I catch a ton of fish on them this time of year. Hope it helps you guys do well. We'll talk later.